Hello, everyone. It's really nice to be back and speaking with you again. You didn't hear from me for about a month now because in August I got really burnt out. The energies were really intense. So let's talk about energy. Okay. So August, it was a very intense month. A lot of darkness prevailed, and that darkness was blocking the light, so to speak. And it's not that darkness is stronger than light, because if you had to choose a winner, the light prevails and wins overall. But there was a kind of like a blockage or a stoppage, if you like. And a lot of people really experienced having a really difficult time, some more than others. So it didn't help for me being in Melbourne, Australia, which is surprising to me. So many people all around the world have heard that Melbourne was under extreme lockdown, and we still are. So it's been very intense just for that reason alone. And I know that we've all gone through different periods of escalation of up and down during this whole sort of COVID times, and depending on what's happening in your area or globally at the time. However, for us down under here, there has been a lot going on, and it was like there was a dark cloud hanging over Melbourne. Literally, it really felt like that. It was very dominating, this presence. So thanks for everyone who was thinking of us down here. So just briefly, we're still under lockdown, which has been extended. So it will be 2 months altogether, and they will slowly release the reins of control and restrictions to us after that. So I think we've still got another almost a couple of weeks to go before we'll be allowed to do a few small things, a bit more than before. So we'll still be under some restrictions. So it's been really crazy because our restrictions have included not being allowed to go for exercise out of the house for more than 1 hour, only being allowed to have one person with you, so one child. So I've got 2 kids who are teenagers, and I was only allowed to take one at a time, even if I'm just walking up the road from my house, which was just crazy. And curfews of 8 p.m. Most people were not allowed to work outside of their house unless they were in various industries or, various jobs. And so, it's just been really intense. But anyway, I know that this whole COVID thing, as I was saying, affects people at different times across the world. And we have to keep remembering that those of us who are sensitive to energy are feeling the effects of energy on a number of levels. Okay, so firstly, when we experience darkness in general, which can also include sort of that feeling of the shadows coming up. And when you feel it, because you start to feel intense, you might get really depressed, which was a common thing in August, anxious, or just start thinking about things, feeling like there's no more joy in life, worries, concerns, all that stuff. So we have the general worries and concerns and darkness feeling just from everything that's going on. Then we're picking up on collective energy of people in our area, let alone the whole world. And it does hang around in the ethers, so to speak. And if you're sensitive and you've got antennas on top of your head, you will be sensing and feeling these. I'm also receiving now that also there's been some kind of like barometric pressure. So I know that's one of the things I'm sensitive to, but I don't follow that kind of thing. So I don't know how you find out that information, but that's just coming through now as well. And outside of that, there is dealing with the people around you directly in your family, and especially if you're all sort of under one roof or living in these, conditions this year, this situation. And on top of that, there's your own energy. And what darkness does is it pulls it all up, whether you're conscious of what's coming up or not. So you might start to get these inklings of disturbances in your mind, emotions, challenges, and it could just be deeply your own personal stuff, present and past, or which can include too fears of the future. And there's also, if there's anything impacting various relationships, then that will be amplified, and it's just one huge amplification. If you are not sure what's coming up, but you're feeling off, then there's stuff you either don't want to acknowledge and process, or that you haven't just sort of jerried onto yet. So that was very much the vibe for August, which a lot of people were feeling. And even some people who are not energetically sensitive or spiritually aware might have felt like, what the F is going on? Or like they just feel this great pressure and tension. So outside of all of that, and keeping in mind that we're all different, we're all on a different journey, and yes, we can feel that energy collectively, and we do, but we're all on a different path, and while some of us are down, someone else might be up, so that's very possible as well. So if you were feeling more up than down, then that's beautiful, and then you were on the right path for you. We're all on the right path regardless. So then as August was ending and we were entering September, there's this definite sense of change in the air. And I know that I'm down under here. So we were entering the season of spring, which is always this beautiful feeling of renewal. And it was just so welcome to see some sunshine. I can't tell you how much. So I know that's different for you guys who are in the Northern Hemisphere. However, you still get that feeling of a change of season. Outside of the seasonal change, there was an energy shift starting to happen. So you probably will have felt early September, even up towards now, or especially early September, a sense of, I think things are changing a little bit. I feel a bit lighter. I don't feel as heavy. I don't feel as depressed or whatever. And the feeling really was a sense of being on the eve of change or a shift. And then on September 9th, there was quite a sort of heavy feeling in the air again, or a little sense of, you might have had a bit of a down day or depression day, but not everybody. Other people might have felt more uplifted. What I noticed about that day was, apart from just energy in general, it was a 9-day as well, and 9 days can often be intense. Now let's keep in mind September is the 9th month and the 9th day as well. The 9th of the 9th of 2002 adds up to 22, which is a master number. And so there was just sort of an extra emphasis on going back to what needs to be acknowledged or released, or just feeling an intensity in general. Outside of that, astrologically on that day, Mars was stationary and about to move into retrograde. And it was just like the Earth and Mars were like at a standstill going, hello. And, Mars is known as the planet of war, right? Not necessarily war. It can also be a lot of other things, such as being a warrior, a lot of fire energy. And if you're a fire sign, or particularly if you're an Aries like myself, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, and so it's particularly intense as well. Now this retrograde is going to be continuing for some time now, right through to around mid-November. And so it's going to be in the backdrop of our lives. And that was that feeling of, also which you might have felt on the 9th, of like if not an intensity, then like an irritation or like you're angry, right? So just keep in mind that you might be irritated. You might feel like your passions and your fires are like wanting to rev forward, but you're frustrated and you're impatient because you can't seem to move forward at the level or the time period that you want. And so there's this sort of like an incubation and feeling of inner anxiety or frustration. So that could be in the shadows and in the background for the next while. So you might feel like, that bit of a struggle of moving forward that we often feel during retrograde cycles. But let's also remember that this can also be an inner war, if not an outer one. So an inner war with yourself or with what you want to do and achieve, where you want to go. But a lot of this also is about re-examining who you are and what you truly want. Is there something that you've had to let go of, to dump, okay? Or that you're thinking in the back of your mind, in the recesses of your mind, it's coming up, I should probably drop this thing, whatever it is, or even a person or something like that. But for example, there might be a project or something you wanted to achieve or something with work or something else where you realize, you know what, I need to let it go. And because it's just not a right fit anymore for who I am and where I am right now and my true pathway. And that can be confronting, that can be challenging, and that can feel anti-intuitive or anti-forward moving. However, in hindsight, you will find that it was the right decision for you, should that resonate. So you might have this kind of inner battle of your warrior spirit wanting to barge forth with a big pole like the Trojan horse or stallion, and then you might feel trapped or limited or halted, and like you can't move forward, and you're carrying this big Trojan horse and you're all raring to go, and then it's like, and you can't move because it's under chains. And if that's not something that that is actively happening for you, it's also a metaphor of our times where, where we are put on hold as a globe. We are chained in many ways and restricted. Don't get me started on the masks, because that's something I've not been able to handle this whole time. I do not like wearing a mask, and I'm very happy to say so, just being completely honest. No matter the politics and behind it, I find it extremely invasive and infuriatingly suffocating, which really speaks of the energy of our times. As I record this today, it's actually the 11th of September, so what we consider to be 9/11, which in the USA won't be yet for several hours. However, there's that impending sense of 9/11 also, which is by no accident. That whole event many years ago in 2001, which is now 19 years ago, 19, 1-9. Think about the numbers, 9/11, 9/19 for 19 years ago. That's by no mistake, okay? So there's an intensity in that alone. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some kind of negative event or some kind of comment and code, on the news or by some kind of spokesperson or something underhanded, whether we see it or don't see it happening. Because I'll tell you now, 100% that 9/11 was not as it appeared, that event, and that certain people in power like to use numbers for negative means, and that they very much are obsessed by numbers. So nothing to concern about. We're all going to send lots of light and love by the end of this. Let's just get into the spirit of energy and raising our vibration, because that's what it's about. Those of us like myself who are bringing these messages forward and are spending our time helping people through our work and all the extra things that we do, it's a calling. It comes from deep, deep within. And no matter what hardships you go through personally and what difficulties you have this innate urge and desire to help. And I know that I speak for myself there, and many of others that are broadcasting these messages or that are doing some kind of spiritual work in some way, whether the person is a a spiritual practitioner or someone doing even mainstream jobs, whatever, regular people who are just putting in prayers, it doesn't matter, each to their own. But I know that I've always had this profound sense, and even since now, this is actually for quite a few years now, but let's just focus, say, on this year. Since about March, there was a profound sense of there is light here. We're to remain focused on that it is here for us. We're to step up and rise up into that energy, because the darkness will bring us down, and it will bring us down so quick and so fast that we won't know whether there's this expression, we don't know whether we're Arthur or Martha, okay? So it can really knock you back. And when you're feeling out of sorts, out of kilter, it's always a sign, it's always an energy thing, okay? And so also those that are, the darker energy, because, I did say back in around, I think it was March, I was saying this is spiritual warfare, everything that's happening, this whole COVID thing. I do still believe, as I said then, and it was very early still then of what we knew and what we were being told, but that, this is, look, I'll be honest again, I always felt that this COVID thing was man-made on some level, or having some kind of man-made, what's the right word? Interception, and that there is a lot of deception during this whole process, which we've seen time in and time out again. I also mentioned back months ago this feeling of this whole thing with the fake news thing, which even I dislike to say it because it's become such a trending word that is misused by a lot of people, or that is overused. However, you see the fake news that you hear about on the media can also be fake news, and that's the point I was trying to make several videos ago, where I was saying what was coming to me spiritually, which is there is fake news, which is fake, but then there's fake news which is pretending that things are fake, and it's stopping truth from coming out, and we're having both that are happening at the same time, and it's this crazy incessant over complexity, over dominating sense of war and division, which we've also seen. All the things happening between the protests, the BLM thing, just everything, the politics. It's a clear over sensationalism and over extension of division. And I keep getting the message time and time again that anything divisive, that is separation, is the opposite of what God, oneness, purity, that pure source that created us in love, that represents unity. So, of course, the opposite of unity is division. The opposite of creation is destruction. And then there's this weird reconstruction or deconstruction in the way of when things are deconstructed. And so what they're showing me now, it's like there's a reality which is the true reality, and then there's there's good things and bad things, but then there's this feeling of it being deconstructed, like all the pieces mixed up. Like, say there's the jigsaw puzzle of life, and it's one beautiful picture, and in the beginning, as God intended it, it was one pure masterpiece, one beautiful, beautiful painting of oneness, except it wasn't linear and it wasn't just a rectangle. However, that's how we're seeing it now. But the angels are wanting to see the light spread throughout this beautiful vista of this beautiful landscape, if you wish, of life, and that the edges are all just white light. So there are no borders, there are no edges. It's endless, it's eternal, and it shines through that sense of oneness. And they're saying, so imagine now if that one beautiful painting got purposely dropped or broken into millions of sharded pieces of glass or puzzle pieces, and then it was trying to be jammed back together, but it's distorted. So that sense of distortion and that juxtaposition between ill-matching pieces is what's happening on the globe now, especially in terms of things like news, politics, all of that, all that whole media thing, and just what's being presented to us. And that juxtaposition of diabolically mismatched pieces is, in essence, the darkness, which is distortion, it is disillusionment, it is diabolicalness. That's why that word diabolical, because, for example, in Italian Spanish, which would have come from the Latin root word, the word for the D thing, the D thing. I don't like to say the negative spiritual being names, but anyway, I will if I have to. But, in Spanish, they call it the diabla, isn't it? Diabla, right? Which is that D person being. See, I really don't like to say it, but anyway. And that is not saying that there is a person, a being that's called that D word. However, however you want to express that as an energy, let's just keep it at that, and keep an open mind what that is. It doesn't need to be through a religious interpretation or any particular interpretation, but just that the overshadowing sort of dark energy, it creates the chaos, the disillusion, the diabolicalness, right? And so that's what we're seeing. So we are in a spiritual warfare, but we have been for eons of time. It's just that right now what we're experiencing, what we have been experiencing, is an expression of that gone to another level where the most regular person is able to now see it, sniff it, feel it. So at any point during the last several months, if you have just even said for a moment to yourself, something's really off here, this isn't right, then you're on the right track. But the main message always in everything, and the main message that the angels will say time and time again, is that the light is here for us. Sometimes when we're feeling really oppressed, we don't see it, we don't feel it. It's more difficult to hop on that train that they mentioned, that I mentioned earlier in the year. They gave that image of like the Shinkansen, the fast train, the light train, right? And let's hop on that bullet train through the speed of light. Okay, and then you're piercing through the veils of darkness, and you're going up, 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 higher, higher, higher. And so now allow yourself to just relax and have that feeling of, feel into your body and think, where am I feeling dense? Where am I carrying a lot of density, where do I feel unwell, whether that's physical unwellness, mental, emotional? How's that showing up for myself right now? How's it been showing up for me lately, or even last month, or whenever during this period? What comes up for me? What's coming up now? What little ugly head is rising up to be seen? Allow that to come out. Good. And now let's just bring in the energy. And I'm going to ask that any negative energy that you're harboring, whether it's from you or from outside sources, other people, be released. Any energy from anyone or anything else that is not serving you, that has brought you down, that is putting a veil of disillusion in front of you. Any things that have been bothering you, we're going to slowly release them. And I'd like you to think of that it's slowly being released and going down your body. We're going to start at the top of your head. And I'm just going to slowly push that energy down. So think of all the energy within you and around you, around your auric field is feeling heavy. We're going to release it. Just feel anything that might come up in your body. I'm going to go down to the head now. Let's start with the head. Breathe in throughout this process. Breathe out. And as you breathe out, you're releasing. Good. So I've released from your crown area, your forehead area, going down your head, Good. There's a lot of tension in the head area that I'm feeling collectively with people. You might have been feeling, having headaches, just pressure in your head. Okay. Releasing anything from your ears and then allowing those high frequency sounds to come through, or to just energetically, it's like cleaning your ears for you to be able to connect clairaudiently to vibrational frequencies and sounds. If not now, then when it is the right time for you in the next while. Now going to the throat area. The throat areas are very, very blocked. Okay, so I'm just clearing out your whole throat area. Doing this for each person listening who would like this, who needs this. You can come back and listen to it anytime, because energy is quite miraculous. It will work each time you listen to this in any direction of time and space. Okay, and we're releasing, so release any time that you felt not heard. Release how you felt bottled up, stuck, restricted. Releasing all feelings of feeling limited, at war, confused, communication breakdowns, like you're struggling, anything like that, not being able to express yourself, anything bottled up. Good, breathe in. As you breathe out, you're releasing, so keep doing that with the breath. I'm going to go down now, down, which feels like the esophagus. So it feels to me that the esophagus is internally sort of blocked and clogged energetically. So we're going to go down now the chest area. I'm releasing now. There's a lot of anxiety and tension. I'm feeling a lot of emotional energy. So I'm holding back the tears because empathically I will take on that emotion. Okay, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of tension, stress, anxiety. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, you're releasing. Release all the anxiety you've been harboring, worries and concerns, worries about your loved ones, yourself and the world. Releasing that now. There was a lot of heartbreak, just releasing, then releasing anything in your heart area. All right, any memories or any sense of loss, sadness, relationships, grief. All right, letting go of whatever needs to. And that light's coming down again, down your head. It's very strong, it's very high vibrational. Down your neck, down your chest. We're going to push down from the heart area. We're going to go down, 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 down to the stomach area. Good, and feel that tightness in your stomach. What are you holding in? Okay, be ready to let go and release. I'm going to release any psychic attack from you. There's been that as well. I know that I was psychically attacked in August as well, which was not fun. Okay, so I'm going to release any psychic attack from you, whether it's deliberate or accidental. This can just be energy from other people that you've picked up. Let's rid of it now. So I'm clearing and needling that out of your auric field. Okay, releasing any energy from other people that you've taken on, dear empaths. Okay, all right, now releasing from the stomach area, more, releasing anytime you didn't feel in control, anytime that you felt like you did not have your power. That was another message that I forgot to mention, is that a lot of us, power was a big theme for August, which means that we can experience the other end of the spectrum, which is disempowerment. So realize now, release all the emotions and thoughts and feelings connected to feeling disempowered. Recognize it now. Recognize how that's been happening and release. Even if you don't understand it fully, it's all good. We're going to go down from the stomach area, just under the stomach, what we call the sacral. I'm going to release any energy connected to emotions, unforgiveness, any intimacy issues, partnership issues, anything connecting to, we'll just call it your intimacy, okay? Any womb healing needed for any females out there that need that. I'm just going to add that. I'm getting also infertility, okay? Fertility/infertility issues, menopause, menstrual cycles. We're going to release anything now, and I'm feeling that some women here have a strong pull with the moon energy. Releasing that. And also just to know that we've got several full moons coming up now, which are super moons. Okay, so we're going to feel things more intensely then, but there is a link up with your menstrual cycles and that. Okay, and anyone experiencing menopause as well. Now down from there, we're going to the root chakra, which is just at the base of your spine, front and back. We're going to release any energy there, any worries and concerns, anything about daily life that you've been harboring, and releasing all sense of feeling insecure, not feeling secure in the world, not feeling stable, and not feeling grounded, not feeling anchored, not feeling like you belong in the world. Releasing any suicidal thoughts. Sorry, that's coming up too. Okay. Releasing any feelings of not belonging on earth, not feeling like you belong here, or that you can't take it anymore. Releasing that. Releasing any anything that's infiltrated you and affected you personally or from outside sources, anything trying to interfere, releasing that now, and releasing any darker energy. Down. Okay, I'm going to be pushing this energy down from your root area, down your thighs. Okay, think of it as I'm just pushing the energy down. So the top of you feels light and the below you heavy. You're going to go down your knees, down your legs, okay? And I'm just going to imagine it shooting out of your feet, far away, deep into the earth, or far away, and that energy is going to be transmuted into a higher energy. So I'm just going to brush your aura now. Beautiful, that light's coming in, stronger. Beautiful. Feel it now. Open up your energy. Beautiful. Have the feeling if there's any fragments, anything that still needs to go, it's just drooping down and away. The angels are around you, supporting you. Thank you, Archangel Michael. We're going to cut all cords around you. Any cords, any toxic cords around you connected to anyone else. Okay, I'm feeling some really thick cords there. So releasing those now. Just filling you up with light. Lots of light expanding your aura. Beautiful. Sending you some nurturing energy. Assisting you in feeling calm, tranquil, and at peace. And there we are. Okay. So now feel the difference, how you're feeling in your body, your energy, knowing that if there are any little fragments still to go, that's okay. Acknowledging if there's anything that you're hesitating releasing, or anything that's stubborn to go, it's okay. Don't focus too much on it. Just know that that's dissipating. And if you like, we can ask that in the next while, that the angels take care of you and they continue to release anything that needs to let go. For you to see the light. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping you see the light. Thank you, God. Thank you for assisting in your evolution, in your awakening, into waking up, feeling and acknowledging the light that is here for you now. Feeling that now. Feeling that sense of upliftment, smiling. Feeling that beautiful spiritual feeling. Knowing that you have a candle within you, and that is your connection to God, the angels, everything pure, everything true. And there you are in that space of calm, knowing that you are supported. Supported is a big word there. Just sending extra nurturing energy with that. You're supported, nurtured, and in the process of healing, releasing anything that needs to go. Beautiful. Something else just shifted then. And just enjoying that sense of calm. And there you are. There you are. So hello. And just enjoy being in that state of peace. Back to who you are in truth. Sending lots of love to you, lots of light. You have the assistance from above. So amen. God bless you and talk soon.